And the point I'm trying to make is this: it will look like you don't know what you're talking about when you rely on it too much, and when you copy and paste, and when you don't really stop and think that is this the best thing to say in the moment? Because I often read replies I get from it, and I'm like, this is garbage. What do you got there? You got a new coffee cup there? Look at that. Oh, it's from Hawaii. I can tell.
Maui Ocean Center.
Oh, look at that. That's
got a turtle. I like turtles.
I like it. We swam with, do you call them a sea turtle? Is that what they're called? We swam with those. And that day we went to Malakini, a million years ago, Heather and I, we were on this, snorkeling and then swim with the turtle, like Turtle Town.
Then you probably took the same tour we did. It's funny. Like a yellow boat.
Oh no, it wasn't yellow. Well, I don't think so. I don't remember.
I'm just joking. we were supposed to do something like that, but the rainwater had the guy was concerned about visibility, and he goes, I don't really like sending my snorkelers and divers off
where
the
I
boat,
can't see them,
where I can't see what's in the water. He goes, because you
never know who's in your boat.
Yeah. You don't want to get the Maui owie. That's what he said.
We swam around the area where they were, and we saw tons of them. And I got a picture. I remember we'd have to find it. It's an actual picture. It's not digital. This is a while ago, by the way.
Oh, gotcha.
The first time we went, it was 2005. No, I took it with an underwater disposable camera.
Excellent.
That's how long ago this was. 2005. And it turned out awesome. Well, the point of what I'm saying is there's this giant sea turtle, and then there's Heather, and they're both underwater, and they're close enough so you can see how big the turtle is versus Heather, or how small Heather is compared to the turtle. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. That's not why we started this podcast. We started this podcast to talk about some other stuff. So anyway, everybody, welcome to the Make Trades Great Again podcast. I'm Eric. He's Andy. We've been doing this, Andy, now for nearly 400 episodes.
It's closing in, man.
Closing in. I don't know if closing in means maybe the end is near or what, but let's keep going today. We got a listener write in. We got an email. Admittedly, this email came in a little while ago. Not intentionally. Yep. We didn't leave it there or ignore it. It's just sometimes they slip through the cracks. I hate to bring that up, but I also think it's worthwhile because if you do message us and we don't get to it right away, it's not intentional. Sometimes we don't record for a few weeks at a time or whatever. Yeah. But anyway, this one came back in February. It's from Minnesota. And I so of course my ears perked up when you read it. Can you give us a summary of what it says?
Yep. All right. So we got Bill Johnson.
That's like the most Minnesotan name, by the way.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So anyway, Bill's a mechanical contractor up north. Anyway, he says, hey guys, morning commute, listening to old episodes. Appreciate that, Bill. On jobs where the scope gets fuzzy, I always outline my specific scope crystal clear in the estimate description, adding a stipulation for how work will be handled if pre-existing facility conditions exist. Basically draws a line in the sand. We are here for XYZ. If site conditions or additional work is discovered, matters will be quoted. Covers you in the quotes, well, in your bid conversation happens. So attached are some examples. A little 2026 cheat code, use ChatGPT to write an estimate description and add information about site conditions, potential issues it could cause, could be discovered, and include, while you're writing out this in ChatGPT, add a section on required work discovered outside of proposed scope. Have a great weekend. I'm on my way to Menards for some 1-inch press fittings. So that's it's one of those little overlooked things. I will say that in my experience, and not from any training or from reading any, expert level business book, I've always said, oh, my estimate needs to be super simple, right? Like keep this as simple as possible. Don't add all this extra fluff, just keep it simple. And in the process of doing that, you exclude everything, right? you don't talk about the things that you should have talked about, and maybe you didn't put the fine print. How many times have people wanted to have, oh, I don't need to read the fine print. I'm just going to sign the terms and conditions, and so I think that's kind of where Bill's at here, is he's saying, I what happens when you show up and the concrete's not flat? Is that your problem? Is that, somebody else's issue? Where do we go here? Oh, you told me you had 3-phase power, and when we showed up, you only have single phase. Is that, or I guess that's my problem. I should have measured voltage, type thing. But,
well, there's all kinds of conditions that get kind of unlocked,
yeah. After demo's done.
Yeah, we unlocked a new level of this one,
Right.
After demo, sure. I think everybody has a different take on this. I think the general consensus is you have to put something in there that says, look, we can't see everything, and we don't know it all before we start. I love the idea of using, some form of whatever your flavor of AI is to write the description.
Yep.
I think there's a couple notes on that.
I do.
And we can get into that before, later, but to address what Bill's suggesting is that, if you're not thinking this through up front and utilizing tools and everything, then you're not, you're obviously opening yourself up for at the very least, a headache. And I think that's what you're saying right now. Like
exactly.
You try to simplify it, which is immediately where my head has been for a long, like I write too much crap on here. What the hell for? You don't want it to be like coded either. Like people need to understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think
did you read section A?
Yeah.
Note Roman numeral 7.
Well, if that question is posed to Eric Ani, the answer is going to be no. And the reason why is I pride myself in understanding what I'm doing when it comes to, like, I'm signing a document. I know there's a reason I'm signing it. I do try to look it over, but like when it comes to like an estimate or something like that, somebody hands me something like, we're going to do all these things. And I think, are all these things at least what we talked about? Because if that's the case, I don't have my brain is so fuzzy right now. Like I'm not going to be able to focus on this. Like that's a me problem. That's not a contractor problem. But if you make it harder for me, it's probably going to be the case. And then there's going to be some sort of dissatisfaction or wonder, like, why did we, did I agree to something? I think the point I'm making is this, is if you put too much in there, then it's always after the fact you look back and you go, oh, why didn't I look at this closely?
Yeah. I totally sold myself out of that job.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you. I think sometimes we put too much in and it scares people. Or it gives them the idea that, like, oh, well, I don't think this is as big of a deal as the contractor does. Do I want to hire this person or the last guy who seemed to not think it was as big of a deal as I did? I don't know. Sometimes you're right. Sometimes they're right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a happy medium. And I think not to address the ChatGPT thing or whatever as much. I think you just got to keep it. I'm going to say I err on the side of keeping it simple.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I think I think your point though is I think should be brought up again. Sometimes you leave too much out, but then sometimes you're saying too much. What did you say the other day about one of, this was a previous employee years ago, so it's not anybody listening today, but you said something like, they were writing these descriptions on estimates or something that were just like, dude, you could have deleted like half this. Like, why did you say, like, this isn't an essay here. This is just like, look, we found a leak on your pipe and here's what we're going to do to fix it.
Yeah. There's a lot of that. Jason Norman and I were talking about it. HVAC J, and
shout out.
Yeah. And, him, big dog, monster company manager up there.
No, he's part owner now.
Give him a good ribbon every opportunity.
Well, it's like law now. I mean, we're still workers out in the field. Like he's owner now.
Yeah, I mean, Anyway, so but you know, we were talking about that, and he's like how do you have that conversation without being like a micromanager, right? Like, but you kind of do, because you know, in some cases you make yourself sound, you know, not uneducated isn't the right word. You don't sell your value when you overinflate things. Don't, and I had a journeyman that always told me this. Don't baffle them with bullshit, right?
Oh, I totally agree.
Because it's super easy for, especially, I'm going to say, less confident tradesmen, right? Maybe less experienced version of tradesmen to go, when they don't really know the answer, to find some sort of bullshit to fill that space.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do that, obviously. You know,
Well,
because
I
it's,
I just think of it this way. I think what people want is like a checklist and a slight explanation. But
yeah,
we don't present estimates that way. That checklists don't work for QuickBooks or HouseCall Pro or Field Aware, whatever you're using, right?
yeah,
Like there's a text box there that's given to you for a reason, and that it's been general consensus that we're just going to use that text box and say this is what we're going to do.
yep,
So you know your scope of work basically,
yep,
and that's what we're talking about, right? And so I think that if you give too much, like you said, you're just like filling space. But
yeah,
if we had the ability to convey this information kind of in a checkbox way, like, hey, we looked at this, this is what we found. We looked at this is what we found. Like if you could somehow quantify all that and summarize it and put it on this estimate, whether it's a piece of paper or whatever, you know, the whole intention is that you could hold it in your hand. And somebody could easily see what the hell it is you're talking about without writing
yeah,
even a sentence or two. You know what I mean? Like no
yeah,
more than a sentence or two for each item. That's the way to do it. But really, we're kind of confined into the, you know, how the conventional way and what's expected of us is to hand this kind of like uniform looking kind
yeah,
of document in one way or another to the client. And that's what people have come to expect.
yeah,
You have the other companies, though, that utilize the technology in a really good way, and they're utilizing softwares and stuff that make it look nice and whatnot. So it does kind of have that checkbox, kind of that checklist sort of
yep,
menu style to it. Like, hey, here's the faucet we're going to put in, and here's the sink, and this is what, you know, blah, blah, blah. I think people like that. And I think that's part of the success for those
yeah,
companies and using that kind of system. Like, you know, I'm thinking more like the presentation portion of HouseCall Pro when it comes to
yeah,
estimates, like you use when you're using your iPad in front of the customer, or like Service Titan. They're really like
yep,
that's their big thing too. Like people love pictures and they love
yeah,
a chart. You know, like a chart in the way that it reads as a chart. Like here's 1, 2, 3, 4,
yeah,
and you know why they like it is because of what we started this whole thing out with. They don't want to
yeah,
read
right.
about their plumbing. There's
So,
nobody woke up today and be like, you know what? I hope I can read at least a short story about my plumbing problems.
right.
It's not
Here's
it's
something
not it.
that I've done a handful of times, where I like write out all this detailed stuff, doing just kind of like what Bill's talking about, right? It's like, you know, you write this all out, you exclude all these things, and you start reading it, and you're like, oh my God, this sucks. This is terrible. You know, like,
Yeah.
I'm like, that I've driven around in a circle 3 times in this estimate, and you know, just regurgitated the same thing. Like, there's going to be a pitfall here. So if you copy all, like, Control A,
Yeah.
or, you know, whatever, Command A in on your Mac, you guys, and then plop it into Gemini or Chat or whatever, and say summarize this, but
Yeah.
don't remove any of the detail. It'll basically create you a bulleted 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, here's what we're doing, and you may look at that and go, okay, that gives me some guidelines. I mean, you don't have to use exactly what Gemini. There's no reason why you can't change it. There's no law against being like, ah, well, that's what ChatGPT told me. I got to plop that in there and hope for the best. Um,
Well, you
because
should be reading it. You make sure you're not obligating yourself to something that you never plan on doing
right, because
too.
and they do a really good job of putting a disclaimer at the end of every return reply that, hey, we make some mistakes, and
Yeah.
it should also, in the context of summaries, should probably also have a bullet point down there that says, yeah, and on occasion we'll make some shit up for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know
Yeah. Well,
like,
yeah. I think that shit, we're not getting into that, like, terms and conditions, but I have them, and people
Yeah.
do click on them. People
Yeah,
do, not
occasionally.
everybody, but when they do, because they're the ones that are say, "Okay, when do you want your
Yeah.
deposit," right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, you should include something like that. I think
Yeah.
utilizing AI to write it is one thing. It's because I agree with it. I think it's a great idea. I think because of efficiency, it works for me. I think you do need to rewrite things though. I don't know why I feel strongly about this. I'm not going to go on a tirade or anything, but I don't think you should copy and paste what an AI program told you to say. I think if you have the ability and the time, like, literally, I don't know why you wouldn't have the time. Like, what are you waiting to
Yeah.
get on a subway and, like, you know what I mean? Like, copy it, paste it, rewrite the damn thing. It takes 2 seconds to rewrite something. It takes 2 minutes, whatever, you got 2 minutes.
Yep.
Just
But
don't use the exact phrasing and don't copy and paste it. And the reason I say that is this: it's so obvious when people use a form of AI to write an email or to write a description on it. I'm maybe not a description on an estimate. Maybe I'm overboard on that. But if you're giving them a scope of work, don't use it word for word, please.
right.
I do think that that's a problem, personally. I think that is as bad, in a way, is bad as
Yeah.
is saying too much crap and trying to make it sound important,
Yeah.
when really all you're telling them is, I'm going to replace the angle stop on your freaking bath
Yeah.
or your toilet. You know what I mean? Like, don't overdo it. And sometimes, copying out a chat GPT or whatever it is, your program it's the same offense, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But anyway, use it though. Use it. Just rewrite it.
I got a chat GPT or some variant. I shouldn't pick on just chat of resume from young tech here. I don't know, month ago, something like that. And I'm reading through it and I'm like, man, this sounds really good. Like he like touched on all the bullet points, like, oh, that's, and then I'm like, yeah, this might be a good candidate, and I'm looking and I'm like, wait, last year he was a landscaper.
Oh,
How's he have all this experience doing, like doing
didn't
all
add up.
doing all this other stuff in the related plumbing heating industry? Interesting.
Yeah.
You did all that. You ran a crew. Oh, I got you. So,
Well, are there? So I think you can pick out most of it just by reading it yourself. But is it worthwhile to, like, scan a document and throw it into your AI and be like, who wrote this? You know what I mean? Like, is there some kind of, like,
what's the
code in
metadata
there?
say?
Like, like, if you take a photo of it, like, does your AI, like, pick up some kind of, like, watermark and be like, oh, that was written by this? Like, there's some sort of signature on it.
Right. Oh,
No, I mean, I don't feel any stronger about that whole rewrite it thing than I've already covered, but I think it's important. I think you put yourself in the way of looking a little foolish at times if you aren't proofreading or at least giving it a little bit more of a human spin. The other thing too, like, honestly, here's where it gets me every time: when I get an email and somebody's used chat or some form of it's just called chat. Somebody's used chat to, like, write that email or rewrite it, and then they, like, change a few words, and then they're, like, different fonts. Does that make sense? I see that all the time. I know somebody does it quite regularly, and it's it's quite annoying to me. But anyway, I think utilizing the tool is important. I think looking at the scope of work and getting back to, Bill, I think if you're looking at a scope of work and it changes, you need to, and as it often does, like, from the time you start to, middle of the job, let's say, that's when everything is figured out. It's not usually at the very end. That should have been addressed already, right? Some sort of disclaimer, utilize AI to do that, whatever it is you want. I think utilizing AI to write these descriptions or these scopes of work or whatever it is however you're using on, like, let's say an estimate, a proposal, is a smart way to do it. And I say, I do it because of efficiency and everything. Well, of course, that's what everybody is using it for. But it's also still, I think it's no less efficient to go over and just give it a little bit of personal touch on it. That's
I would agree with that.
what do you tell the guys? Like when they have to, are they using it to like give you guys notes in the office, or are your guys giving estimates to customers on the job?
Not estimates.
No.
I mean, we do. I mean, occasionally, like if they're like, I'm here to fix this toilet, and you know what, it's got a cracked base, and this is how much a toilet is. Like that kind of estimates, they'll do, repair estimates, things like that. But generally, not where there's.
You're not sending them out to look at, they're gonna remodel this house next month, and we gotta, you're not doing that.
No, if I do send them out to do that, I will send them out to gather a materials list, look over things. Where's our pain points, right? We use that pretty regularly. What's going to be a problem, right? Like, so when we show up on day one, what's going to be the thing, that we're going to have a hard time recovering from, and identify those.
That's an interesting way to look at it. So you walk into, well, that's a different discussion,
right?
I get it though. That's an interesting way to send them out. Like it's back to efficiency on your end, right?
Mm-hmm.
I need to know about the problems, but I hadn't thought about it that way.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine to get a material list, but if the material list glosses over the fact that there's a 4-foot concrete retaining wall in the middle of where we're going to put this kitchen, then, I mean, maybe we should know about that.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't go there, I wasn't there, so
I did a consultation, like an estimate out on a project. I didn't get the project, and you know what? I should have gotten it.
Yeah.
I should have got the job. I did a
damn it, I'm good enough.
No, here's you'll know what I mean in a second. If I can get my thoughts together today, I'm super ADD. I went out to look at a job. They were gonna remodel a bathroom, make a closet a little big. They were turning one bedroom, like a back corner bedroom, across the hall from like the primary or master or whatever the hell we call it these days. They were going to turn this spare bedroom into a closet and extend the bathroom. So like they're going to make a bigger kind of suite out of it. And I'm looking and I'm like, all of this information I needed, I'm getting. It's really weird construction of the house. It was built in the 60s. It's very, very close to me here. I haven't seen other houses in the area like it, so it's pretty unique, and it had bar joists it was a ranch, or in Minnesota we call them ramblers. I don't know why we call them that. Ranch style house, main level basement. And all of this work was on the main level. And it had steel bar joists for the floor structure. They were like 14 inches tall. Like, I don't know. You ever seen that in residential?
Yeah.
You have? I've never seen that in residential.
Like in between the floors?
The floor joists were bar joists.
Oh, weird.
Like a commercial building.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before in a house.
We did.
It was a wood frame home.
Yeah. A couple of super high end residential houses that were that way, but not certainly not common.
This was just at the time it was built, it would have been on the edge of, like, literally on the edge of farm, like farms were the neighbors.
Crazy.
Right?
So, somebody had to have been
like the neighbor's house was a farm field, right?
Yeah. Had to have been a contractor association or architect or engineer or something like that was like, I want bar joists in my house because the benefits.
Maybe I should tell you the next bit of information, which is why I think I should have got the job. It'll make probably more sense. But either way, overall, having steel bar joists in just a house, just a freaking rectangle house, that's it. Is nothing to this house.
Right.
I discovered while I was there, and honestly, I know that the other contractors didn't discover this because they didn't. They were like, whoa, nobody said anything about this. Of course, then I'm like, hey, I got this job. I discovered that the main level floor was thin concrete, mud pack concrete with tubing in it, copper tubing.
No
it's
kidding.
A radiant floor.
And they weren't using it? Or
they weren't using it.
No kidding.
Huh. Yeah. They're you
I wonder if they had a failure, like a leak or a failure or something, and discontinued it. What were they using for heat?
baseboard.
Yeah, had to have a failure or something.
I don't know.
You know, that's kind of crazy. Or it didn't work, or it was installed incorrectly and never worked, type thing. You know what I mean?
Well, I think they were using it maybe in one part of the house, but they weren't using it back. Well,
I don't
anyway,
know.
there was baseboard in the bathrooms or in the bedrooms, but there was in-floor heat in there too. And I discovered that, and I'm like, oh, we got to really like we can't do just whatever we want in this. And they're like, well, I think they were. I don't know if they're using it. Whatever. I pointed out, and they're like, oh, nobody told us that. And I'm like, okay, I got this. I got this job.
I got this. I got this.
I didn't get the job.
Somebody used better AI on their description than they did.
Well, they're probably more clear. I can't even get a sentence out of my head today, but yeah. I need some medication. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love it when people write in. I love it when we talk about these different topics all the time, and it's topical. Like this stuff is what I was gonna say, and early on about the AI stuff. I kind of alluded to it, like rewrite it if you can.
Yeah.
But look, this is not every interaction. You do not. I want to remind people. A couple of years ago, you didn't have AI, and it's probably impacted many of our lives to the positive many times over in very different forms all over the place. Every time I turn around, I don't think about this every time I turn around, but it seems as though you could just turn around and be like, hey, could I use AI for this? You know what I mean? Like, we haven't become too reliant on it. I don't see it that way.
Not yet.
And I think that there's a lot that we aren't doing. Oh, well, of course that's a stupid statement. I think there's a million billion things that we're not using it for, and we could. But do not think that you need it, or do not think that is the best way to approach something like building an estimate or something like that. And the point I'm trying to make is this: it will look like you don't know what you're talking about when you rely on it too much, and when you copy and paste, and when you don't really stop and think that is this the best thing to say in the moment. Because I often read replies I get from it, and I'm like, this is garbage.
Yeah.
Like if I were to stop and copy and paste this and send it to somebody, it would be obvious that I didn't put any thought into it, because it's like incorrect information, or it just reads really freaking bad, like really bad. Not just like, oh, they use chat for this. Okay, fine. We do that. All of us do that often.
Yeah.
But and it's almost to the point too that we're like, we just expect it. But be a little smarter about it. Like, I guess I'll sum it up by saying this: whatever you do hand over to a customer, it is a representation of of you yourself as a person, and then also your company. And sometimes people make the mistake of not really looking close at it. And I've been handed a few things in an email or whatever, and I go, oh boy, whoa, they didn't read this. This is terrible. You know, I'm not talking about it says scandalous things or anything. It just like doesn't, now it starts talking about something we're not even talking about. Like, wow, how did this make it in here? You know what I mean?
So it's interesting. So I while we were talking about this, I popped Gemini up on my sidebar here,
of course,
and said, hey, can you, if I upload a document, can you tell me if it was AI generated or not? It says, well, I can't specifically, but I can look for key indicators and things like that. One of the manual indicators, and this is the part of that where you're like, oh my God, this is terrible. Like, why does this read so weird? And it's they call it low burstiness.
Is it little short bits of a sentence that don't really complete a thought? Is that what that is?
It says AI tends to write sentences of similar length and structure, which is very much so like we were just talking, where you like read something and you're like, it's kind of like this, like it's very cookie cutter form. It doesn't look right.
It's like a note. It's like a thought, but not a complete sentence.
Yeah. And it says human writing usually fluctuates: a long, complex sentence followed by a short, punchy one, right? Like it's got a flow to it. And that's something that when you're reading an AI generated paragraph or something like that, it doesn't really read like we read, right? Or we're like someone writes. It's interesting. It is kind of interesting to read this, because I'm like, oh yeah, no, those are the things. Perplexity. AI chooses the most statistically likely next word. If the writing feels extremely predictable or uses common transition phases like in conclusion,
Yeah.
or it's
Yeah.
important to note, furthermore, it's likely AI. Because I
I
don't know
think
that
that,
I've ever written in conclusion in anything I've ever written. Because,
well,
I mean, other than the stuff that pops up with, or you
I
know
don't
what I
say
mean?
furthermore, but there I do often say therefore.
Yeah,
I, I take
it's
issue with
interesting.
that, and I take issue with chat for doing that because I did actually graduate high school and move on to college with a background, a very strong recommendation that I should get into something like, I don't know, English and
Right.
literature and things like that. Not that I could write. No way. No way. I could study it, put it that way.
Yeah.
But, I had a knack for low bar writing. Nothing
Sure.
fancy.
Short
I'm not
story.
going to pretend to be anything else than I was like, I could pass the class with an A plus.
Right.
That said, I do think that there's a place and a time, but not in my plumbing estimates. Like, I don't need to tell you that I am maybe of average intelligence. I'm your plumber. I'm here to fix your problem.
Yeah.
I don't need to prove that to you in my
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 literary
literary
skills.
knowledge or
Yeah.
my writing skills. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's absolutely asinine.
Yep.
But yeah, I think utilizing the tool is fully worth it. HCP has it in their description, and I utilize that once in a while. I usually somehow do something and then the option goes away, unfortunately, but they give you the option when you're like building
Yeah.
out items or services or
I
things like
don't
that.
like I like that it's there. I like the concept. I dislike the description that it always generally, or that it tries to put out or to puke out. Now I call it a puke out because it's usually, in my opinion, that HCP generated item description just sounds freaking terrible.
I think
And
I know what you're talking about. I think if you just here's how I approach it. I know what it's going to say. Have a pro come to your house and we will diagnose this, and this is how we'll take care of it. Blah 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 blah. It's like the same kind of
yeah,
Sutton
it's that,
structure.
yeah,
I just know that I'm going to delete like 1/3 of it, but I'm going to use
right,
about half what it says. You
right,
know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
So here's one place that I have been using Gemini on that note is when I'm doing that is I'll go to pop the Gemini bar up and be like, can you write me a customer facing service description for annual routine maintenance of your furnace, and please, include, that we're not including any parts, or, we'll quote any parts extra, right?
Mhm.
And do it that direction, and it will typically generate like a 2 to 3 paragraph, or not 2 paragraph, 2 to 3 sentence item service description, and with a couple of bullet points and whatever,
Yeah.
and maybe it'll have like, here's some benefits to it, and after you read through, just like you said, go through, remove some goofy language that doesn't sound like me,
Make it your
and
own,
make,
please.
tune it up a little bit. I like it better than the this is clearly a schmarmy. That's the thing I think I dislike about the HCP one, is it's just very not me.
Oh, I don't use it all the time. Don't get me wrong, but
Right.
look, I like it for like if I'm entering like materials,
Yeah.
right? Or if, you know what I mean? Like, I don't mind it. Or
Yeah.
not materials, like just a simple service. Like,
Yep.
oh, I forgot. Why don't I have a flapper service in here? You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Yeah.
I will try to use it. I don't. It's efficiency at that point. But
Yeah.
again, I'm gonna I already know that I'm gonna delete like at least the first few words of it, because I'm like, have a pro come to your house and diagnose this,
Yeah.
or bought a new toilet, have a pro install it. I don't know what's wrong with that. Nothing really. Like, it's again, some of this stuff just gets glossed over, and if you write too much, what do you expect? Like, we could pick it
Yeah.
apart all day long. So I don't know. Keep it short and simple. I
agree.
have no idea if anything I said today makes any sense. I am so
fine.
tired, and it is affecting my ADHD or AD, whatever it's called, whatever.
Yep.
We should note that we were just on vacation a little bit, you and
Yeah.
I and the wives, and
Yep.
Tim and his wife, Cynthia, they renewed their vows down in Dominican Republic, and we joined them because it was a cool long weekend and had a blast. It was cool.
It was fun.
It was a lot of fun. I'd go back to the resort that we were at and everything. I'm not giving a recommendation to anybody. Don't hit me up in the. Just kidding. If you do want to hit me up in the DMs, it's honestly, if you're really trying to find a good place to go, we'll tell you it's a good place to go.
It was a lot of fun. Good weather. Good.
Yeah.
So
it was supposed to rain on Monday when we were leaving.
I know. And I don't know that I mean, we felt a few drops of rain, but I don't never enough to ever make the ground wet.
I don't think I saw any rain at all myself. I don't know.
Our driver had the wipers on in his car once, but that's it.
We rode in a Suburban back to the airport.
Yeah.
That like a 2010 Suburban maybe.
Yeah.
That I didn't think we were gonna make it. That transmission. How does GM make such terrible transmissions?
I don't know.
This has come from a guy who drove Chevy trucks forever. I'm not like bashing on GM here. I think this is just at this point in time in 2026. I think this is just like common knowledge at this point, right?
The common denominator here is that Suburban probably has 800,000 miles on it. You know,
how could it? It's an island. I don't know. Where are they driving the damn thing?
Back and forth to the resort from the airport. I mean, you know, I don't know. But it was so the car you and I all rode together on the way out there.
Yeah. Well,
did you notice that there was
Suburban?
That there was not a single warning light that was not on the dash? I was like, oh, I guess here we go.
I feel like I've been in enough Ubers that
they're all on.
I feel like I'm a really good car owner. Like I'm really good at maintaining vehicles to the point where I don't have warning lights like Christmas tree on my dashboard.
Right.
Because I reaffirm that every time I get into somebody's Uber. I don't know. Whatever. All right. We've talked enough.
Yep.
Everybody hit us up in the DM, send us an email. There's a link if you're listening on a podcast app, even on YouTube. There's a link there. I try to include it every single time on YouTube too. You can just touch that link and you can send us a text. And by the way, now we can reply to you. Not a back and forth. It's like a one-time reply. Isn't that what you said, Andy?
I think so.
But that's new for us. We never could reply before. We don't get your phone number. We can't, send you our sign up for our MLM. Multi-level marketing. Andy's really into that.
Coming out.
Andy's really into pyramid schemes. So I don't know. What are you selling this week, Andy? Water filters? No,
you'll never know.
Milking device. Yeah, exactly. It's a milker for your cat. Anyway, I seriously have no idea what we're talking about anymore. I'm gonna hit stop on it and say thank you, Andy. I appreciate you. Have a good day.
You too.